working on the top of the window portion. You can see I got a little crack right there. That was the completion of that side, so I'm gonna move on to this side and see how it goes. I'm trying to sand down all the way down, just because I think it's a lot of stuff that's rusted out that I can't quite see. So I'm gonna sand it all the way down through there and then see how it goes. So I check in a bit. All right, I got it all sanded down here, as you can see. Next, I'm gonna get my Dremel tool and I'm gonna etch this area out some, and then go from there. So check in a bit. All right, this is our progress so far. I'm gonna have a lot of welding to do. This metal was crumbling up a lot more and a lot rusted through, but this is one of them areas where you only can grind down or prep on the front side. So I'm pretty sure it's metal and stuff all on the back side. So every time I weld, it's crumbling on me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just continue. I'm gonna have a lot of grinding to do on this one, but hopefully I think it's gonna come out all right in the end. I'm gonna get this finished welding and press forward. All right, I've got the top side. I still have some holes up here. I've welded the whole thing. Kind of see how it came out. Had to do a lot of grinding, but it still has little pinholes, like that. It still has little pinholes. Body filler is gonna have to complete that because I've welded and the welder is getting so hot and it's deteriorating the metal, which means it might be rust on the back side, but I'm gonna body fill that and then go from there. Right now, next, I sanded all this area down around the windshield, so that came out pretty good. I removed the window, the sills here. You can see that kind of. Next, I'm gonna try to do the drip rails. So I'm gonna go without. I'm deleting my drip rails. We live in the desert, so I have no need for them right now. And plus, I like how cars look with drip rails. Delete it. So I'm gonna remove the drip rails, and then I'm gonna go from there. So this is where the cushion, the window sills, those came out easily. I'm going to try to remove the drip rail. I see there's 2 screws on there, so I'm gonna remove those and go from there. So we'll see how it goes. All right, I'm doing my transmission tunnel. Of course, with this is a TKO. You're not supposed to have to cut the transmission tunnel, and I did have to cut the transmission tunnel, but I believe I had to cut it because of the bushings. I still had to put bushings on the car, but this would be, I'm gonna just enclose it, then I can come back and do everything from there. But it was definitely my bushing. So anytime you do your transmission, make sure you got new bushings on your car, because it's about a ½ inch difference between a brand new polyurethanes and old 1970 bushings. So right now I have it taped up. I'm making my template. So I'm gonna finish this, and then I'm going to cut it out and then go from there and see where it goes. So check in a little bit. All right, I got everything. I got everything bolted in here, as you can see. Right now, I'm trying to bolt down this cover for the shifter. So I'm in the process of doing that. As you can see, I put them about 5 inches apart. I'm a seam seal the edge around. That's gonna get me a good seal. I'm gonna seam seal that. Then if I go to remove the transmission or anything like that, or remove the body again, I won't have any problem doing that. So I got that on the checklist. Next, I'm gonna get this shifter bolted down, this cover bolted down, then go from there. All right, as you can see, I got the cover in. Of course, when I put carpet in, I will have to lift this up, and this will be above the carpet. But for now, it just gives you a good, just a general look at it. You know, you can see it shifts. Fine. Second. Well, let me see. First, second, third, fourth, and then fifth. So it shifts fine, and then reverse. So it shifts fine, and I got it in fine. So I just need to seam seal it. I got to order some seam sealers, so I get to that later on down the line. But overall, came out pretty good. So I'm going to close it out right there and move on to the next project. Working on this drip molding again. See how I started right there. I'm gonna shave it on down and then go from there. So we'll see how it goes. All right, moving right along here. See, I got a couple nicks in it. I was cutting it off. But overall, nothing that a little bit of body filler won't clean up, and welding won't clean up. I got this last little niche section around the rear area. I'm gonna get that done. I'm gonna move on to the driver's side. So we'll see how it goes. Keep in touch. All right, we're over here on the driver's side. See, I already started a little bit right here. Cut it on down. This front portion, it actually screws off and pops off. I don't know why this area doesn't do the same thing. I've tried, but it doesn't have screws on it. But this front portion, that area just screwed off and popped off. But I'm still had to grind down right there to get it even. But let's start on this passenger side, driver's side, and finish up there. So check in a bit. All right, I got the driver's side done. As you can see, it's kind of rough, but I still haven't grinded it down. I'm gonna have to weld along the seam right here, same as the other side. Weld it so it can just come together right there, so that'll be good. And I still need to grind it down real good. Once I get it grinded down real good, then I can do a little body filler to get it shaped up. So other than that, that's it for cutting them off. And next I'm gonna do a little grinding and see if I can go from there. So we'll see how it goes. All right, I'm using the paint remover on this rear section. This is I got this off of Amazon. I'm gonna use it on the back deck area. This would be a good area to try this on. Use it on the back area because there's a lot of rust, and see if I can get it down before I use that. So I'm gonna use it on that area. Got my little pail here. Say not to brush it back and forth, just kind of pat it on there. And you let it sit for 2 minutes. So I'm gonna start that and then go from there. So I'll check in a bit. All right, I'm working on this rear package tray. I tried that paint remover. It worked okay in this area, but I decided to just grind it down. Put some Rust-Oleum on top of it, grind it down. I think that'll work better. I'm gonna continue to grind down and then go from there and see how it goes. So check in a bit. All right, I ground down the package tray area and around this rim. Have a lot of rust in this bottom area. I don't know what I'm gonna do to salvage that, because I really don't want to buy a new piece, but this needs to be replaced. I'll address that later on. I figured out that before. Next, I'm gonna move on to the fenders, I guess. Looks pretty clean. I'm gonna get some Rust-Oleum paint for this area, because I did the paint remover. It came out okay, but it still has all those divots. So instead of fighting with that back and forth, I'm gonna just paint over that and then go from there. So we'll see how it goes. All right, I'm gonna be removing this fender next. You can see I grind down a little bit. If you ever come across Fernando's Auto Body, it's in Henderson, Nevada. Never use those guys. They did this job and they did an absolutely terrible job on it, as you can see. So I have to take this whole fender off that they did and redress it and then go from there. So I'm gonna remove this fender, then go from there. All right, I'm moving on to this driver's side. Like I say, I paid a body shop to do this. $2 grand, $2,000. And this is a terrible job. You can see they put screws up under the Bondo. On the inside, this is not the same. You can see that right there. That's not the same. This is done by Fernando, and look at this. I just was trying to get my car back, you know? I felt as if he was trying to just keep my car. Look at that. Did a terrible job. I paid him just to put the rear fenders on and correct the rear end section. He didn't do any of that. But I'm in the process of taking both of them off so I can do it the right way myself. You know, don't trust these body shops with your car. They're just gonna take your deposit and pile deposits up, you know? Look at this look at the inside of that. Look at that, I gave him all those parts. Brand new, and all he did was cut them to try to make it look good on the outside. Did a terrible job. That's Fernando in Henderson, Nevada. Right here in Las Vegas. So don't do any business with him if you want your car done the right way. But I'm gonna remove this and get it removed. And when I get it removed, I'm gonna go on to the next event. So check in a little bit. All right, I got both fenders off here. Got that one done. This one done. Next I'm gonna work on getting this area straight. So I'm gonna have to flatten out in here. All right, moving along. I've prepped this side for paint. You can kind of see how the after look. So I'm gonna paint this all with some Rust-Oleum. I'm gonna paint that with some Rust-Oleum black. Same thing with the deck lid here. I'm gonna do that in Rust-Oleum black. I've grinded it down. It's only one little area I have to address, and that's this side over here. So I'm gonna grind all this down real good. And it looks like just little filler pieces, which only thing that you really use on this area is the speaker. That's where the speakers mount. So all this is kind of just, you know, from the steel being stamped. It's not really needed, but I'm gonna just fill it in right here. And this is before I prep this side, so I'm going to grind this down real good. Try to get some of this, get all this rust off. Prep it real good, and then prep it for paint. And try to get inside this window, but I kind of need this window to stay this way because I need the prep. I need it so I can do the windows, you know. I don't have a good template for the windows. I'm gonna have to do some research online, but I'm gonna grind around it as much as possible. Grind that down real good. You can see it's coming along. I'm gonna get those two areas. I got some paint on the way, so I get everything prepped for the Rust-Oleum, the 2-in-1 paint. So they put that paint over rust. So I'm gonna get that done right now. This is where I'm at. Got the rear quarters off. I had to take them off. Like I say, a shabby job, but I ain't gonna worry about that. I'm just press forward on it. I'm gonna have to take these wheel wells off also, because they didn't, when they were installed, they just cut. I gave them brand new wheel wells and they just cut, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with cutting it, but the problem is the overlap that they did. The overlap is like all the way right here. You know, they didn't cut it back. You know, if you're gonna do it that way, then, you know, all you need is an inch, you know, of overlap, and then weld it on down, and you can see that gap right there, but they didn't fill that in. So I'll get it straight. You know, it'll take a little time. You know, it's that way on both sides. I'll get it straight and squared away, and then press on from there. So that's where I'm at now. We're gonna move on to the next step. Check in a little bit. I'm in the process of removing this window regulator. Decided to just remove it. I pretty much got this side out. Almost got this panel out right here. So I have new ones that I got. So it's pretty simple when you have the fender removed already to remove those items, opposed to trying to put it in when it's already the fender's already in. But I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. I got these 4 bolts, and I got I don't believe I had to remove that one or that one. Those are just the guides. But I have these 4 bolts, and I'll be able to remove that out of here and get that done. So I'm gonna get that done and go from there. All right, I'm trying to get this to line up. As you can see, when the trunk closes, it's almost on center, but underneath, it's just not closing properly. You can see where the striker at is off slightly. So what I got going on here is I got this tied to my post. I'm gonna see if I can just pull it out a little bit and see if that'll line it up. So I put the trunk back on to see if I can get it lined up. But right now I'm gonna just hook in different spots. I might tap the weld on it just so I can see if it didn't grind down, see if I can get it to go. But right now, this is what I have. So I'm gonna crank on it a little bit and see what I got, and then check in a bit. All right, today I'm gonna be painting the inside of this wheel well. So as you can see right here, I've grinded down. I have this Rust-Oleum 2-in-1 reform and seal. So I'm seals rust to prevent corrosion. So I'm gonna use that. Eventually I'm gonna have to remove this, but for now I'm gonna paint it because I'm just trying to get this rust sealed. I already grinded it down and everything like that. So I'm just get that done and go from there. So check in a little bit. All right. Right now I'm fixing my little blemishes. You see right there, I welded that in, welded that little slit right here. You see right here, I had a slice right here that was sliced down from the, I guess the water getting in there. Welded that across. And got another spot right here. I'm gonna weld that in. Trying to figure out how I'm gonna get this package tray right here. But I gotta get that down. So I'm gonna get that done and just clean up some of these spots. I got this one big spot right here. I might have to cut this whole thing out. I have to cut that whole thing out, but I'm gonna figure it out right now. So I'm gonna weld that in and then just proceed on to the next step and keep on moving. So checking in a bit. All right, I've filled in my spot. You can see that's one. I'm gonna have to do body filler along that area. I got to finish up this. I did a little bit of my package tray right there, but I got to finish that up. Next, I'm moving on to this wheel well. Okay, you see this terrible job that this guy did, but we're gonna get off of that and move on. I'm going to get all this off, realign it. You can see I already marked it off, but I'm not going, this is not the cut I'm gonna make. I just needed to line it up so I can kind of see where it was. But I'm gonna get that stuff off. I'm gonna remove this because I had a replacement for that panel. You see it's kind of rusted under there. I'll get all that off, and then I'm gonna go from there. So check in a little bit. All right, as you can see, I have this bottom portion removed. This is how it came out. Okay, this flat section down here, that's part of the fender. So that's gonna be the portion of the fender that connects. I have this portion right here. So set it down real quick. I have this area right here. I'm gonna replace that. That comes from the fender, so that's part of the fender. I believe I'm gonna remove this section right here because that is part of the fender also. So I'm gonna remove that, and I think I'm gonna do it differently. I said I was gonna do one side and then do the other side, but due to the fact that the bumper is not aligning correctly, I can shim it and twist it and everything and get it to align correctly, but it's not. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove this portion right here. I'm gonna remove the fenders again because of a terrible job. Bend that back out. And I have to remove this other side right here. Then remove those fenders. And I'll remove that portion on this side. And I think that'll give me the leeway to a little more flexibility when it comes to aligning the bumper back with the trunk, because I want that gap. I want that gap to sit flush. So if I remove all that, I think after I finish, then it'll be a little more respectable, and then I'll have all new parts under it also, so I'll be good with that. It's a solid trunk. It's probably the best looking trunk I ever had on the old school. I just got to clean it up. So on to the next event. Check in a little bit. All right. I use my air chisel. You can see I got everything off. For the most part, everything's pretty flush. I have one area on the passenger side, and that's this dent right here. So before I attempt to line my bumper up again, I'm gonna get that dent out, because I think this dent is throwing everything off. Other than that, I have a lot to remove down here. You can see as you can see, I already scribed the old. I'm gonna cut all this off, so all this is coming out. Probably cut it about right here, and then move on from there. They just placed the fender over the old. This was already like this, so they didn't cut at all. They did a terrible job, but I'm gonna fix it and get it straight. So I'm gonna cut right here, and then maybe leave like a 1-inch gap all the way down. Same with the other side. These were pretty hard to remove. I have the replacement. This is the replacement. So I'm gonna use this. I think this is the driver's side. I'm gonna use this. This goes in that slot like that. So get it in there. Goes in that slot like that. And then the fender goes under there, clamps on that. So I get it there. For the passenger side, the driver's side, it's kind of the same deal. I etched out where the old fender was, but I'm not using those locations because I feel like I said, it was a terrible job that was done. So what I'm gonna do is just dial it in, put a 1-inch lip, and then put a 1-inch lip. And then what I'm gonna do is just cut out the excess and grind down. So I won't have all that excess going on. Other than that, everything going good. And take my time with it and see how it goes from there. So wish me luck. I'll check in a bit. All right, I'm working on the rear end still. My solution I came up with as far as alignment. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weld the bumper in place. So, all right, here's my alignment. I aligned the bumper exactly in the middle with the trunk. So the fender's off. The trunk is pretty much perfectly gapped. As you can see, I have a little gap right there, but I can kind of adjust that and move that around. But as you can see, that's almost a perfect gap. I got this perfectly aligned at 90 degrees. As you can kind of see here, I got it perfectly aligned, zeroed out. I'm gonna weld it. I'm gonna weld it in right here, and maybe put one right here, and maybe put a couple taps on the ends right here, just so I can have it in place. Then after that, I'm gonna branch off of that with my fenders and my seal right here. So I'm gonna branch off of that with that, and then go from there. So we'll see how it goes. All right, we got everything lined up. What I did is, you can see the tack right here. I lined the gap up as perfect as I can get it. So I just put 3 wells right there, right there, right there. I got all 3 of them done. So next, I'm gonna work on this wheel well area. So you can see how bad it is. I'm gonna just cut all this out. I'm gonna cut this portion out, leave a 1-inch lip. After I leave the 1-inch lip, then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna come back and weld my portion on top of that. After that's welded on top of that, then I'm gonna go from there. So we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna get that done, and I'll check in a little bit. All right, still working on this area. As you see, I got it ground down on top, so it looks pretty good so far. I'm gonna grind underneath there, just so I can have a good lip. While I'm welding. So I'm gonna grind underneath there and then go from there. So we'll see how it goes. This is the completion of welding. As you can see, I got everything welded along that line. It's pretty sturdy. The fitment of this panel was kind of the circumference of it. I had to do a lot of bending back and forth with it. That was the tag for it. It was made in Taiwan. I'm not sure what company, because I bought these off of somebody off of OfferUp. But it didn't have good fitment. I had to do a lot of bending to it and a lot of back and forth with it. But overall, it came out pretty good. You know, I'm not complaining. You can see. Next, I have to get this area right here. So I'll be working on this next. Just getting that so it's a sharp point at the bottom, and this area right here. I'm gonna do both wheel wells first. So I'm gonna do this one, then I'm gonna work my way to the driver's side over here. As you can see how it's all messed up. Work my way to the driver's side of it. Then after that, I'll go from there. So that's my ending completed result of the passenger side, and I'll work my way to the driver's side tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes. All right, I'm working on the passenger side here. I mean driver's side. As you can see, I got a line. I removed the old one. I got a line, so I'm gonna cut that line out right there. Cut that line out. And then I'm gonna go from there. So we'll see how I'm gonna get the fit. I'm trying to make it symmetrical. So we're gonna do that, then we're gonna go from there. So let's see how it goes. All right, we're working on the rear still. As you can see, I have welded in the rear fender wells. Came out okay. I like how they came out compared to how it looked when that shop did it. You know, it looks great compared to that on both sides. Let me see this side. On this side, I still have to fix this area down in here, but I'll get that once I go with this bottom edge. So next I'm gonna work on this bottom edge. So this ledge goes along right here. It's a good little bit of bending that has to be done, but that ledge goes along there. That's how that works. So I'm gonna work on getting that straight and squared away. And then on to the next step. So I'll check in a second. Working on this panel down here below. As you can see, I've prepped it on the bottom side and top side. The fitment is going well. I'm not sure about the name of this company. You can see it right there. That's the tag number and everything like that. It fits pretty good. I have maybe one little area that's kind of questionable. So, and that's the fitment right here. But other than that, it fits good in that area. This is a hard panel to get off. So I'm gonna tack weld that in and then just try to adjust a little bit from there. Cause some of these panels are not, they're not OM, So they're not a direct fit. You got to kind of bend them and twist them and everything like that. So, I mean, it's sitting in there nicely. I'm gonna tack weld it in and then adjust from there. So I'll check in a bit. All right, I'm still working on this rear section. Right now, I'm gonna show you what I got going on. Here's the panel piece. Of course, I'm gonna have to replace all this, but I'm gonna go in after my grinder is down. So my grinder broke, so I have a cutting wheel to cut that. So I'm gonna just go ahead and keep. You can see this is damaged. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep just pressing on my grinders in the shop. I got it kind of in place here. It looks pretty good. As you can see, I'm gonna go ahead and just put some tack welds down the line, down the edge right there. And that'll be about it. We're getting there, trying to get the fenders on. It's a process. But other than that, it's good to go. Kind of see on this side, I have a large gap in that area, but I believe it'll bend. And we can put it in place. Other than that, everything's lining up pretty good. This is a hard piece because it's in between your wheel well and your trunk. It curves around, so that's a pretty hard piece to get in there, but we got it in place. I'm gonna just work with it and massage it, and then we'll go from there. So check in a little bit. We got both sides in. So that's the passenger side, as you can see. I just tacked it in there. I'm gonna do a little better job along that. Still got to repair that wheel well. And then on this side, got the driver's side right here. So like I said, I got a little bit more work to do. Tacked it in there. So on to the next. Next we're gonna We're gonna paint this area and get it prepped up and get all in here. Paint. First I got the prep. I pretty much sanded down everything. I'm gonna paint so we can get the fenders mocked up and everything like that. So we're gonna start. We're gonna go right there and then on to the next event. So check in a little bit. All right, I'm working on painting this inside of this fender well. You can see I kind of started right there a little bit, but I'm gonna be painting inside there, along there. Just getting a good trying to surface it, just get it straight, rust proof it. That's about it. So I'm gonna get that done and I'll check in a little bit. All right, I'm putting the fenders on here. You can see everything is painted on the inside. Right now, all this body filler, that's from previous work, but I'm getting everything kind of dialed in here. It's that's going smooth, so I'm gonna try to get it on, fit it on, so I can cut it up some, and then go from there. So checking in a bit. All right, I'm working on the driver's side fender. I had to cut out this section right here because it was rubbing. I also have to grind down in here. But other than that, it's coming up pretty well. The inside I need to clean up. So I had to clean that up because that's throwing everything off. And also I'm gonna have to cut this section out. So I'm gonna cut that out. And that's about it. So I'm gonna get all those little areas adjusted. I'm gonna grind that area down, which I'm replacing this whole panel, so I don't even have to do that. I'm replacing that whole panel, so but that's about it. I'm working on it piece by piece, bit by bit, but other than that, I'm gonna get it done. So check in a little bit. All right, got the fender on. You see I got it kind of tacked in, look a lot better than it was. I got a couple of areas that need to be adjusted. Kind of tacked in the trunk here. My gap is pretty straight, as you can see, but I do have a problem on this bottom end, so I'm gonna have to get that adjusted, but I'll worry about that later. Other than that, the fitment, it's okay, you know. It doesn't have the fitment of, I believe this is Auto Metal Direct, but you can see my door panel is a little, it's off, it's wide up here and it's kind of narrow at the bottom. But other than that, the body shop that put this fender on did a lot of damage to it. So with that being said, I think I adjusted it as much as possible. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move on to the passenger side. I have this little section down here around the wheel well. Have that to fix first. After I fix that, then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna put the fender on. I still have to paint. Just throw a little slap, a little paint on there in that area, and then go from there. But I'm gonna get those areas done. Just try to just straighten everything out and see where it goes. I got a lot of little small adjustments, but right now I'm just trying to get the fenders back on the car. These smaller pieces, these are not Auto Metal Direct. These fenders, this is, I got these off of Offer Up from a guy. They got decent fitment, but you know, all of them made in the same factory, but it's still a little off. They're not factory correct. They're not OEM. So I'm trying to massage everything and get it straight, but I got a lot of little painting to do up in here, getting that straight, and after that, I'll be good to go. So I'll check in a little bit and then go from there. All right, this inside was rotted out, so I got it off that other panel right there. It wasn't a need to really replace the whole thing, so what I did is I just got that square out, patched it in. I'll clean it up later because I got to clean up this whole thing. You can see how bad it is. So this area, I had to cut this area out on the other side just for fitment. So I'm gonna fit in the panels first and see exactly how they fit. If everything go the right way, then I'll press on. If not, I'll fabricate some sheet metal right there and get everything, get everything squared away. So other than that, we just on to the next step, and that's putting the fenders on, lining up with the trunk, and going from there. So check in a bit. All right, I am working on the rear fender, the passenger side fender. Okay, just trying to make everything symmetrical. I'm gonna have to cut along this just so I can make it identical to the cutting area as the passenger side fender. I got that area painted, as you can see. And I got everything painted on the inside of the fender. I feel like it came out pretty good. Got a lot of little crevices in there. As you can see, got a lot of little crevices in there, but it came out pretty good other than that. So I'm gonna get that fender cut down some and then see if I can fit it on there. So let's see how it goes. All right, I'm working. You see how much cutting I had to do and everything and prying up, but I'm gonna paint up in there. This fender has one dent in the middle section. You can kind of see where it's raised right there. I'm gonna have to hammer that out, but that came from the factory like that. So these are auto metal direct. I think I got this off of Chevelle SS or sschevelle.com or something like that. But these are auto metal direct. But when they came in on the shipment, it had that dent in the side. And you can see, you can kind of see that dent from this way. But auto metal direct supposed to be the best quality, but just like that other stuff, it still says made in Taiwan, so it's probably the same factory for all, the same as that. These don't say auto metal direct. They're probably still made in the same factory. So, but I'm gonna have to spray paint that. I already cut out this section. I'm gonna replace this section, this top section. I already have a new one over here. So, and like I said, that's a whole different company right there, CHL, but it still say made in Taiwan. So all that stuff is made probably in the same factory almost. All of the panels I have had a different manufacturer, but all of them said made in Taiwan, and all of them don't have perfect fitment. So you kind of got to massage them, but I'm gonna clean this up because it's been sitting for a while. Got dirt and grime on it. Clean it up, clean up in. I need to clean up in there. I need to get these edges squared away. and then go from there. So I'm going to get all that done, then I'll check in a little bit. So we'll see how it goes. All right, we're working on the back quarter panel. See how I got everything lined up in this area. It was a hard fitment, as you can see. I had a dent right there. I got that dent out, but I still have, I don't know if you can see that with the camera, but it's still a little pinch right there. So that's a lot better than it was. But you know, I had to work with it. Other than that, it came out pretty good. I'm gonna tack it in just to see what I can get, see where I'm going, and then so I'll get that done and I'll check in a little bit. I'm working on the rear section. I got my gaps kind of lined up. I just lined them up evenly, and this is what I came up with. So it looks pretty even on both sides. It didn't line up perfectly, but like I say, it has its flaws. So I'm not gonna worry about that too much. Long as the lines are even and the lines are perfect, I'm gonna go with that. So I'm gonna have to straighten out this trunk a little bit. Like I got a little wave right here, and that might be kind of throwing everything off. But I'm gonna press on from there and get it kind of welded in. Get it welded in and then go from there. But everything's going smooth, as you can see. So I'll check in a little bit. I'm trying to just get it straightened out. Like it's coming together pretty smooth. I'm gonna have a lot of little carving and everything to get it even. But other than that, it's going good. So I'll check in a little bit.
You better be careful with that donkey, shorty.
Excuse me?
Obvious. Stop.
All I'm saying is this is the moment for you to show us what is real. If you want out, you'll take this pill. But if you are where you belong, you can go back to this every day, over and over, forever.